and welcome back. I'm still Maxwell Damage, and speaking to you from the future.
Or something like that. They say the world isn't ready for a rock and roll cop. No one wants their state monopoly on violence to be mixed with celebrity worship. They claim to know it would be dangerous for detectives to rise to the rank of demigods and have sexual encounters with barely legal cover girls. It would be insane, they say. To all this you say, fuck off and die, in a cool voice. You people have no idea how good these cops are gonna get. They're gonna crack 20 cases a day. In the future, cops will be like astrophysicists, or prime ministers, or prophets. And you're the first one. -1 logic, the price of self-delusion. Learning caps for visual calculus, suggestion, electrochemistry, and composure. All raised to 6. Jamais vu. Jamais vu. The opposite of déjà vu. Not already seen, but never seen. Everything that should be familiar appears strange and new, like some half-forgotten day in your childhood, only now. That's the feeling you've been having. And for who knows how long. You should go and ask Joyce Messier about this. What world are we in? This is the fundamental question. -1 encyclopedia, nothing is familiar. +1 XP for every orb clicked. All intellect learning caps raised by 1. That's the thought I meant to get before any of the others, but I have a 12-second memory, folks. As it's described. We raised learning caps, but not any actual skills, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. I was gonna head off to bed, but now we have good reason to go see Joyce again. Hey, you okay? You okay? You gonna be alright there?
Better wash your mouth around me, boy.
Okay. I'm sure that's not the voice I gave you the first time around, but that's fine. Everything is just so different. The world is a different place without you, Kim.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with at this late hour?
It's night. Don't you ever sleep? Matter of fact, I don't. Why is that? I have a medical condition of my own. Nothing unusual, though. I'm old, you see. Old, huh? I think I have that, too. Don't worry, it's curable. With questions. Ask me some. It'll help pass this night. More questions? What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air? Joyce, what world is this? What world? The fading pearls of her eyes looked to the sea. The only one, I suppose. The world of matter and its pale antipode. The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water. What do you see? Great bodies of water, forest-covered surfaces, clusters of light where the cities lie. You've seen the montage. All we have, this world, is enough. There's a term of endearment they coined for it, in the DeLorean century, where humanity was high on this world, discovering more and more of it, these archipelagos included. What is it? Elysium. Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment. It does. There are those who would call it hell. What is hell? A term of hatred that originates, like many such things, with the domestic petrofascists. I don't feel like I've got the whole picture yet. Oh, you want a picture of the world? There is no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit. How come? Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside, sideways. Inside? What shape is this world, then? We used to think it was a sphere, but that's beginning to look less and less likely by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG nations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since, the 30s? ORG, Occident Ravachol Grad. There's a steadily increasing trickle of images. Between the big three scientific contributors, they're piecing together a dark gray corona. A dark gray corona? Yes. The pale covers 72% of the surface. There are gray flares and prominences, even arcs above entire isolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in it, it certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago. A cold fear seeps into you. Oh my god, wait. What the hell are you telling me? You seem to be spooked. Please don't be. Her voice becomes homely, calm. She lets a moment pass. What do you mean? Corona? They say there's a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we're still living on a planet. Or, well, to speak more plainly, imagine vast swaths of land disrupted by nothingness. I'm sorry, dear. It must sound quite terrifying through the acute encephalopathy. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the great questions of our time. Maybe when they get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive it may sound. A fractured corona doesn't feel like it's going to bring anyone together. You have misimagined it. I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of the images that depict our world from below low orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You love it. Well, if you say it's disco, baby. See? Everyone finds something worth holding on to in this world, however wasted its opportunities. The cold seeps into you. The air is heavy with 80% humidity. Suddenly, you're conscious of yourself standing there on whatever this all is. Your arms hang down by your sides. What is pale? The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality. It is the opposite of reality. But what is it? A definition, maybe? Okay. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, detective. The separative tissue between the isolas. It is the interisolary mass. Wait, and what is an isola? Isola is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Mundi, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde. An insulind is an oceanic isola. It comprises mostly of water. Mundi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulind the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing, and deer. Okay, but what is the Pale like? Achromatic, odorless, featureless. It is not like any other or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness. Is it here? No, detective, we are safe. She points off into the sea. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla. As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach. 6,000 kilometers from the end of the world? Yes, that is enough. Many cities have built much, much closer. And up there? An uproar of matter, darling, rising into the pale, rolling, evaporating even, a great vision. The area of transition between the world and the pale is called porch collapse. Imagine a gray coronal mist, cold vapor, marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see. You hear your pulse rise. The air feels caustic and cold suddenly. What are its physical qualities? It's difficult to describe or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into the pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension. Right now, down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible, impassable. If we're surrounded by pale, how do you get from Isola to Isola? Oh, it is so difficult for us. A squall of birds. Hardware operating in the harbor. Firm. Self-evident. It is possible to force dimensions on the pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the pale without getting lost or having our minds damaged. The pale can damage the mind extensively. But how? Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others that pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by past. What does this feel like? It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of pale exposure per year. It's more for her. Way more. You're not a civilian passenger? No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entropanetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of pale transit annually. You're not a civilian passenger? She's looking out towards the sea. What at? It's hard to say. I took that for the I have a 12-second memory joke, but apparently that moves the conversation. She's over-radiated. And then some. Let's go through that again, because I want to catch that other dialogue option. Are you over-radiated? Up to my gills, officer. What is entropinetic? Because I sure had to think about that word. Entropenetics is the scientific study of the pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of God. The study of the pale reaches back some 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain. Did they cross it? The Western Plain, I mean. There are signs of pretermodern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. Well, what has entropenetics changed, then? Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Aerostatic craft, hybrid airships, detective, conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity to the point of reference for motion is suspended once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end. If we throw them precisely. If we do not, then they don't. Gone. Like a skipping stone beneath the surface. How much Pale is there compared to the world? The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter. And the ratio is slipping. Slipping how? Yeah, because you don't need to answer that. What do you think, detective? It's growing. There's more and more of the Pale. Precisely. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Cover everything? That can't be. Where would we go? Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or even downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same. Off we go. You see the hangman's mouth open in your head. Off we go, into the wild Pale yonder. One and all. They say Pale is death, but for the universe. Why should we just leave and the world get left behind? I would love to talk Pale in the comment section, because I feel like it is an embodiment of entropy in the world, and that this world of Disco Elysium is perhaps like it's in the Pale is entropy at its highest degree, and that it's the reverse of the Big Bang as everything starts condensing into a single point. And I would love to discuss that further, but if I start talking about it, that's going to be the next 30 minutes, and we're not going to do a dang thing. So let's return to reality, please, Joyce. Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything? I'm getting a sense. We're not saying number one. I'm getting a sense of who I am. But no, I didn't know this. Beyond curious, tell me, what do you think of the Pale? don't know how you've all survived with it. It's a huge accomplishment. Her eyes tense. Crow's feet radiate from them. She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and swollen face. You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't even know this, then... This investigation will be my masterpiece. The one they remember me by. I promise. I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him, and he is very competent. In the meanwhile, you have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time. She gives you a slight bow. Secret task. Talk to Joyce about the pail without Kim. Huh. I'd say who knew, but I knew. Alright, that is all for now. Thank you, Joyce. This has been everything. Do we think we can get that boombox? Well, we could, but it wouldn't do us any good yet. We don't have the tape spool for it. Ah, I did it again. Attention, Maxwell. Hitting the escape button does not help. Alright. We are gonna do at least one more thing before bed. One more thing? One more thing. Actually, where's our character sheet? We have 2 skill points. Let's get a point of empathy back. Are we really? Because... Well, okay, I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to see if we still have, if we actually do have 0. Once that, bonus goes away. Yeah, I didn't think we could reach that. Hey, Gart, do you have anything to say with Kim? Hey! But there's a thing. I want it. Why can't I have it? Do you have anything different?
Can I help you?
I saw another thing. I saw a sign that said I couldn't go into the kitchen. Why can't I go into the kitchen? What? Are you a cook now? That's none of your business. But there may be something pertinent to the investigation in the kitchen. He wasn't pan-fried, he was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with... Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1300 because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must. Say nothing. Because you're not a bartender. You don't understand the seriousness of the situation. Art, I am an alcoholic. I need my fix. Even more reason for me not to serve you, sir. Was there anything else you needed, other than alcohol? No, that was it. But I'm really hungry. I have a search warrant? Do I have a search warrant? No, you don't. How did you know? If you had a warrant, you'd be shoving it in my face right now. Besides, the Elysium doesn't do search warrants. I know the law. You'll just have to wait for the kitchen to open if you have to get in there, which you don't. You do realize you can just go into the kitchen at 1300? No need for superstar charm or Sambo-style antics here. Sambo is an acronym for Samar boxing. Graceful martial arts stuff. Sambo style implies stealth, cleverness, and cool. Just letting you know. Alright. But there's a dot. I want the dot. But it's also 1 a.m. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I know, we did. And now I need the booze. Actually, raises an interesting question. Can I close that? Does it just... Yeah! I'm not sure I ever closed my door in my first playthrough. Kim, let me in! I'm scared of the dark! Are you really? No. Okay, we are not doing a... I kind of want to try that, but that's still a 1, folks. And we need so much health medicine if we are going to chain smoke this way. The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful. No, I said... Excuse me, we had work to do. Already done that. Already done that. Haven't I? It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not mug. I want to get in that mug talk again, but it will not happen. The mug talk is exhausted. Okay. I can't even. Still nothing. Okay. We are not using the ledger while we are alone because reason. White envelope. A white envelope with a stamp attached to the upper right corner, handed to you by Everett Clare. Inside are some legal documents with 2 names printed on them, Isabel Sadi and Lillian Carter. Both signatures are required. Not going to happen. You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 1240 month. 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum. Look at the zoning plan. The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. We're not going to pull that off right now. I could smoke again. Oh, I'm still smoked up, aren't I? No, I could get a 3. But I only have so much health medicine. That's going to be our major factor from now on, I think. Well, we are going to become le cop. So we have to remember to give ourselves cop skills. What is your deal? Why are you so red? Because you're 5, but the 6 isn't. But is that because that's more from items than it is from added skills, whereas we've added to the ones that are glowing? It might be. I actually played my first game with very little Inland Empire. Well, okay, I should say I started with 4, 5, or 6. I don't remember my first playthrough stat roll anymore, but I never deliberately added to it. I kept modifying it through clothing, but I was not doing Pure Holodon. And that would be at most +1. Maybe more than that if I activated a skill thought cabinet for it. I'm gonna see how weird the world gets. Alright, go to bed. Crawl in. The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. But then, sleep doesn't come. But I want to sleep. Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed. But it's not happening. Why? Maybe it's the bed's fault? Check the pillow. Its synthetic filling is separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly. It smells of alcohol and sweat and grease. Check the blanket. It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here. Intimate and warm, breathing. A bit tense in the muscles. Relax. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily. Roll over to the other side. It's a little better. Colors, scenes, half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it? Who killed him? Something to do with... What was it that the lieutenant said? The Union? And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves. No more thoughts. Fall asleep now. Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images. Images start forming. Oh no. We have limits. We can only go where the game is corralling us. Kuno, I'm scared. Kuno doesn't fucking care. Kuno isn't fucking here. Oh. 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 No. There's gotta be. There's not. It's alright. It's fine. It's nothing we haven't seen or done before.
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
What is this?
What it says on the can, Harry. Answer the question.
I was born in a hospital, where people usually go to die.
You're not kidding anyone, Harry. You don't remember shit. Tell me, do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
Tell me what this is! I'm not answering before you tell me who you are.
You know who I am. I'm the bad day. The one where you ask her, and then later in the streets wandering. It's the worst day of all time, Harry dear. And it's coming. She will hear about it on the phone. Reality will turn into a grotesque nightmare. This will be the last thing you did to her. Tell me, do you remember the love of your life?
You said who?
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth?
I was left.
That's right, funky baby. And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
I can get it all back.
No, it's gone. 3 times gone, and never coming back. You failed. You failed me.
Oh.
You failed Elysium.
What is Elysium?
Everything. The Pale and the Isolas on the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people, and you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
I've talked to you before.
No, Harry. You were just talking to yourself. That's all you ever do, even in your dreams. And the act is wearing thin. The spots on the disco ball fade around you.
Oh.
You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time, sweating up the bed. Stinky boy.
Oh. I can come back from this.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours, bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
Help me. Help me.
Help you? Why? I can't hear you. The rest is just a word dream. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin sleep-like state. More glass than velvet. Grinding in your head.
Something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad. This dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
God, there's another type?
Oh yes, party boy. And it's worse than the one before.
Oh.
Just think of the shit you saw.
No.
Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry.
Oh, I don't wanna.
Time to go to work in the shit factory.
But I don't want to go to work in this shit factory. Help me. Ah. Ah. Good going, buddy. Is that how it's gonna be now when I close my eyes? Yeah. Wait till you see the one with the chicken, and it's gonna be a good one. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night. What chick? You don't know? Some broad that messed you up. It'll come to you. It always does. What the hell is going on with me? You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think. Why is this happening? It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more. Oh, you're too weak to say no now. Waking up is the worst part. Maybe somewhere down the line you could decline? Wait, what is speed? Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you think you even got up from this floor? It's power, man. It's professionalism. It makes you feel like you're young again and ready to detect, ready to go to war against the world. No, I can take this. I am not going to go looking for speed. Are you sure? Ready to live as this pathetic shell of yourself for days? Basically a week? Let's be honest, 2 weeks, maybe 3. You won't make it. Half the town will be dead by then. You will be fired. Who am I kidding? Of course I want some speed. Fast recovery, man! Quick turnaround! Super detective! Back in action! New task is find speed and sniff it. What have we done? It's a new day. That's an 18. We could boost it a little more, I think. Oh no, I think we're wearing our electrochem clothes. Yeah. So maybe we don't want to do that. And that we have no hope for. Which is bad, viewers. Still not a lot. Everybody needs a smoke first thing in the morning, right? Like the rest of you, the expression comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now. We are going to need that anyway. It belongs, the expression belongs in the new, the 3rd decade of the current century. Enough time had passed from the failure of the revolution that, for a fleeting moment, free market economy seemed like the ultimate, uncontested way of life for our species. Things were good. It was smooth sailing. People made gold and champagne-tinted interiors and facades to suit the times, calling this the new style. Art Nouveau indeed, but more importantly, disco happened. Forget about ostentatious orchestrations. For Ravachol, your city, that meant only one thing: Guillaume de Millon. Out of the dazzling swirl of disco music in an open-air boîte de nuit, somewhere in Ravachol West, Guillaume's blonde mane appeared on the screen. He sang some bullshit. Then he made the expression. So I adopted it. Why? Everyone loved it. Maybe you thought some of the stardust would rub off on you. Maybe it did. Either way, it's all gone now. Only the grimmest remains. I feel the need to add finger guns when I make it. You know, the little clicky. The click is used to spur on a horse. It also features heavily in Guillaume de Millon's regional mega hit, Don't Worry, Your Pretty Little Head. Sometimes you like to add finger pistols to the mix, because unlike Guillaume de Millon, you are a police officer. It's your nifty little way to say, I'm armed and dangerous. How long ago was that? The new? There's a vast ocean of time between now and the expression looking good on you. Or anyone. 2 decades if the calendar is to be trusted. Humanity has run aground in that time. It's a different world now. The expression is a relic. Anything else? Like, who am I? Why did I become a cop? Why did I drink myself into oblivion? You have some understanding of the near history of disco, plus the trivia you've picked up along the way. Episodic memory? Remains in the dark. It may never return. You should prepare yourself for that. Does this have anything to do with ostentatious orchestrations? Not really. Oh, must have just stirred your mind. They're more like a disco rock band, anyway. I guess that's it then. It doesn't have to be. You can swoon over Guillaume and his champagne cork smile whenever you want to. Maybe some of the stardust will return. Sometimes I want... No, we're not doing stardust on the stream. Let the mirror be for now, although that gives us more of a chance to stop it. We're not there yet. This is day 2. We are not there yet. Let the mirror be. I was not expecting to get that today. Kim? You outside having a smoke? He's not. The narrator immediately says, he's not. Go back inside now. Oh my gosh, this Kentucky breakfast stout is amazing. Even at closer to room temperature. You know, temperature really changes the palate, the flavor range of what you're appreciating. Is this door open yet? No. Okay, if that doesn't go away when we load downstairs, then we are going to go to some drastic measures to make it go away. Oh my. Oh my. That's a lot to take in, folks. We will see what Kim's bouncing dialogue box has to say in the next video. Till then,